Good morning, and welcome to our virtual collaboration for student access. We're really excited that you're here today, and we have a great panel discussion, and I'm looking forward to this panel discussion. And I just want to go through a few housekeeping tips before I bring on our panel. Just for your information, this panel, this live stream will be recorded, and it will be posted on our website, which is at techtraining.palmbeachschools.org. Each of our live streams has a dedicated page of resources that we'll share out. And we'll share out links to things that were talked about during today's discussion, stuff like that. Our website will be, when you click on it, has a new navigation feature now. Instead of clicking on the top right, I think it is, it's now going to be on the left side. So look for the navigation for live stream resources on the left side. And we'll update our tour video next week, so it'll be up to date with all of that kind of information. We'd like for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have quite a few subscribers these days, and you can click subscribe down at the bottom. There's a little bell down there that you can click, and you'll be notified when our videos go live or when we have a new video posted, stuff like that. This is a big conversation piece. We need you in the audience to kind of be part of the show. So we'd like for you to interact. So over there on the left-hand side is the chat window. And I encourage everyone to start interjecting their ideas and how things were working. This has been a really good, I can't even talk this morning, but this has been a really good issue. And so we want to get into the whole conversation. So we wanted to bring on some librarians that talk about how they interact with teachers and students in their virtual libraries now. And they've got some good practices. They're not the only ones. There are a ton of them out there. And some of them are in the chat right now, sharing their ideas. And so let's bring on our panel of librarians. With us today, we've got Toni Lipscher from Marsh Point Elementary. We've got Suzette Calderon from Wellington High School. We have Lisa Petroccia from Independence Middle School. And we have Kimberly Bower from KEC Canal Point Elementary School. And so we're going to let them start by introducing themselves a little bit more and giving a little bit more detail before we get into the questions and stuff like that. So ladies, let's take it away. Kimberly, we're going to start with you first.
Good morning. My name's Kimberly Bower. I'm the library media specialist at KEC Canal Point Elementary School in the Glades region. We are the best in the West. And I wanted to, I'm so honored to be here to share with you about the ways that we are collaborating with our classroom teachers and administration, entire school-wide collaboration. It's been an amazing transition. Very exciting days we are in. We've had some very good successes and some challenges as well. And I hope to be able to share some of those with you during this time.
All right, thanks, Kimberly. Toni.
Hi, everyone. My name is Toni Lipscher. I'm the media specialist at Marsh Point Elementary. And collaboration is a key. I think that, you know, my principal always says, united we stand, divided we fall. And I think if we all come together and collaborate through this time and into the future, that we're going to be extremely successful. And I hope to share some things that you'd like to take back to your schools or classrooms. And I have to shout out to my school because they're amazing. They help me out a lot.
All right, sorry, Lisa.
Well, good morning. I'm Lisa Petroccia. I'm the media specialist at Independence Middle. This is quite an overwhelming time for all of us, especially teachers. There's so much information out there with programs and Google extensions and tools that they can use for their classroom at this time. So my goal these last 5 weeks or so has been to take the information I've gathered from the fabulous EdTech webinars and the fabulous library media service meet sessions that we've had with other media specialists, and grab those ideas that everyone's sharing and put those pieces of information in bite-sized pieces so they're digestible for our staff. So I've done a lot of step-by-step little tutorials using Screencaster, little Google slideshows with screen shots with arrows and 1, 2, 3, 4 step procedures to help our teachers through all this. But I think the most valuable tool I've had is having live meet sessions with teachers, one-on-one or in small groups. And sometimes these live meet sessions are only like 5 minutes long. And I'm able to demonstrate and show them what they need. And then they can carry on with the rest of their day, and they know I'm there for them. So thank you, John, both Johns, for allowing us to be here and share these ideas. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Suzette, take it away.
Good morning. I'm Suzette Calderon from Wellington High School. And, I read on Twitter once that school librarians, we don't take care of books, we take care of students and teachers. And I think that that's even more true now because I have no books to take care of except for my books at home. But so this has been a trying time for all of us. But I've really been collaborating with my faculty and staff. I think I'm closer to them now than ever before. And reaching out to students. And it's been a learning curve for all of us, but we're doing great. And hopefully we share some ideas with you guys.
Thanks, Suzette. And before I get started on the questions, I want to talk to our audience. Feel free to answer the questions in the chat. We're going to be having a discussion with these questions, and we would like your input. So feel free to ask questions, make comments, answer the questions. What are you doing out in your libraries or your classrooms? Or if these ideas ring a bell, how can you use those in your classrooms or libraries? So let's get started with the first question. The questions are going to be scrolling at the very bottom of the screen. So the first question is, how has the move to remote learning changed how you interact with your students in your school? Anybody want to start?
I will.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Well, obviously there's changes because I'm not greeting them in front of the cafeteria door every day, and I'm not seeing them face to face and giving them hugs and pats on the backs and high fives. However, there are a lot of things that because of the way we had built into our systems at Canal Point, that a lot of things did not change. We have been using Google Classroom, and I have a classroom set up for every homeroom. We have homeroom teachers, classroom teachers who already use Google Classroom. So what we tried to do in this transition is mirror what we did in our face-to-face time with the kids. We try to use platforms that they were already familiar with, and as much as that's possible. Some of the kids, were new things, and but like we use Google Classroom, we use Class Dojo for our reward system and our parent communication. We use Flipgrid, and we were having great conversations in Flipgrid before the pandemic. So we just continued having those conversations. And some of the software we use, like Cami, is something the children were already familiar with. So it kind of made it a little easier for this transition.
All right. Who else wants to add anything to that? Anybody? Go ahead, Toni.
At our school, we saw our students every single day, them coming through. We had great circulation. So we're missing, as a media specialist, I'm missing my kids because I know the teachers get to meet with them in their classrooms every single day, but we don't have that opportunity. So what's really, I think, been interesting is that on an elementary school level, some of the students have discovered that they can email us and their teachers, and they've kind of figured out this instant message thing. So I'll get an instant message from a student, and I'll be able to say, hey, I can help you with that. Let's Google Meet right now. Are you available? And those one-on-one meets have been really special to be able to work with the kids. Some of them want to actually get help on an assignment or a project that I've got going on in my Google Classroom, or they just want to talk. Some of them were just like, I just need that one-on-one with somebody else in my school that I trust. And so our media centers were always a safe haven for our kids. And so we're trying to make that available for them here too. Of course, we have office hours, and I have a book club that we meet at, really like a school book club. We meet after school at 3 o'clock. So those are opportunities that I have to meet with my students because I don't get to see their beautiful faces every day.
Okay. Anybody else want to interject there? Lisa?
Just piggybacking on Tony's idea, I too have the IMS Media Center classroom, and there's like over 400 students who have joined. And we have virtual lunches, and kids have enjoyed that, where we meet at 12:30, and they just need a chance to talk and share ideas and what's going on in their life. And yesterday I did, for the first time, a yoga class. And that was kind of fun. I think our kids need an opportunity to de-stress. So I want the media center to be a place, our virtual media center to be a place for them to come and do yoga and talk to me. And I too have a book club. We have a virtual book club, and we meet. And the kids are using Flipgrid to share books that they recommend to others. And so that's worked out nicely. So thanks.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. Suzette, do you want to add anything?
Sure. It's been a little harder at the high school level to reach out to the kids. The big thing with high school kids in the media center was lunch. I miss the energy that was in the media center from lunchtime, because the kids were coming in and they needed, oh my God, help me with printing, or can I go over there and play Minecraft, or they were doing puzzles, or, there were so many activities going on during lunchtime, and it's just the safe space that they could be in, and like the buzz of energy that was in there. I can't recreate that online. But I've got a website set up for them. I've got Google Classroom set up for them. I've got a reading class that I was doing, like pull out with some students and doing a book club. So we finished our book through Google Meet. That was exciting. And then I've got another virtual book club starting up today at noon. So slowly but surely we're grabbing the kids.
Thanks, ladies. We've got some great feedback going in the chat. A couple of things that I wanted to point out a little bit is that a lot of people are doing virtual read alouds, which are amazing. I think I'm going to be doing two myself next week in a couple of schools, and I'm looking so forward to that. The other thing I was seeing is that people are missing the hugs and the communication and stuff like that. And I think that's why the Flipgrid is so awesome, is because you can kind of put something out there and the kids can kind of respond and give them a virtual hug, like, come on, bring it in, and stuff like that. A lot of the high school media specialists are bringing in stuff like the virtual office hours. I saw someone talk about virtual lunches, because I know in the high schools, lunch is in the media center and stuff like that. I've been to Gardens High School and they do their lunch in there. I've been out to some of the other schools and I've seen that interaction time, and that's a long time period and stuff like that. One of the good questions that I saw was, how else can teachers support our amazing media specialist? I thought that was a really good question, stuff like that. And so I'm curious on how teachers are interacting with you guys. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit? It kind of leads into the next question about how you collaborate has evolved with your teachers and your administrators. That kind of answers that question, I think, in a way too. So what do you guys think? Go ahead, Toni. Kim.
One of the things that we did, I get email requests for collections of information or book suggestions, or how can I find this book, or what can I use with this topic. One of the things that I did on Facebook, I'm friends with a lot of the staff on Facebook, so they have a feature called Collections, and since that's where a lot of ideas were being shared, I just started saving into that collection, and I put the other teachers in and media specialists as collaborators in that group. So we were able to have a place to go back to find ideas, because at the beginning it was hot and heavy, a lot of ideas being thrown, too much to process. So I just said, look, we're going to start a collection. This is where information is going to be. It'll be one place for you to go and look when you're ready for something, because the moment of need is when the information is needed right at that moment. But the flood at first was overwhelming.
That sounds good. Go ahead, Toni.
So even when we are not in these times, at my school, I think it's important, and it's to me, as the media specialist, that I get to meet with my teachers in their teams in their planning for the year. So pretty much within the first week or so of school, my whole year is planned. I've got my projects all done, and that's because the teachers have let me in and let me join their PLCs or their planning situations. And so we get to plan our events. I get to piggyback off of them, their standards, what they're teaching in the classroom at different times of the year. So as far as the question is concerned, teachers helping out media specialists, I think you letting them into your community as well and letting them feed off of you and you guys collaborate together is really super important. As far as how has it evolved now, I have one of the things that we were in the middle of doing was our fairy tale unit and our animal zoo with first and second graders. And so that collaboration changed because now we didn't have the fairy tale ball or the animal zoo. So we're having to do that online. So we've had a couple of virtual fairy tale balls, and we dress up and we dance and we have fun. And animal zoos are in progress. And I dress up as the safari person, and they're going to be sharing their facts about the animals they learned. Unfortunately, all their projects are at school on iPads, so they won't be able to share that. But they did gain the knowledge, and so they're going to be able to do that. My biggest collaboration, I think, was with the morning news. My teachers have been sending me. We have this live morning news now, where they send me videos on the weather, what's cooking, something happening in their world, the Pledge of Allegiance, so that we have normalcy in our school. And it's really we have a Throwback Thursday. These live shows are really, really great. We do it through iMovie and YouTube, and we throw it out there every morning in my Google Classroom. I send them the link. They put it in their classrooms as well. And it has been, and my assistant principal does the joke of the day, and my principal is always there supporting in some way or another too. So it has been, there's been a lot of laughs, and even the parents, I've gotten emails from parents, so that's bringing them into their world as well, our world as well. And the parents are really seeing what's going on in our kids' world and what we do for them. And I think that through all of that, we all are getting a lot more respect and support.
Definitely. Anybody, Suzette?
I would say, to answer Michael's question about how teachers can support the media specialist, first of all, invite us to your PLCs, please, every subject area. I'm very heavily involved with the PLCs for the English department at my school, but I would love to be more involved with the social studies and science department. We have so many resources that we have access to that they might not realize, and we can really enrich your curriculum. So please invite us into those PLCs and see what we have to offer you. And then as far as collaborating with my teachers and staff, I mean, it's been, I've been answering phone calls at 9 o'clock at night about, please help me with this Google form, which is awesome. I don't mind. It's been really great. We've been here to help our faculty with, technology integration and resources. And it's been, I think, very mutually beneficial for all of us.
Thanks, Suzette. Lisa, do you want to add anything?
Sure. It's regarding collaboration with the teachers. What I've been able to do, I've been blessed. A lot of teachers have invited me into their live classrooms as their guest speaker, so to speak. And I've been able to show our students Mackinvia ebooks, remind them of the Mackinvia ebooks. And I'm very grateful Mackin has added thousands of free ebooks during this time of crisis. So I'm able to show them there's many more available to them. I'm also showing them the public county library is offering the free temporary library cards, and they're vast resources. So I've been grateful that teachers have invited me into their meet sessions to demonstrate these resources. And I have like scheduled three sessions next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm going to be going into classrooms as well. So I'm encouraged by that, because I just checked our usage for Mackinvia, and there's been over 1,300 logins since the students have all been home in this environment. So I'm encouraged that they're actually using this resource. Speaking of the public library, I'm going to give a shout out to Debbie Sveck from Palm Beach Gardens High School, who went to a secretarial meet and showed the secretaries at her school the public library resources. And they were so excited about being able to get a temporary library card during this crisis and being able to have access to those resources. So thank you, Debbie, for that idea. I'm going to do the same thing and offer that to our staff that may not know about that. Thanks, John.
Oh, there's just like the chat is off the hook here going on in the background. So it's got some really cool things. The public library is a great resource. And I know that Holly Ruffner from Library Media has been working with the public library to do some stuff and get that out there to the schools. But that's such an awesome resource to share with your teachers and stuff like that, how to get that information, because they have like a wealth of information in their catalog that's free for us. You know, thanks to Ben Franklin, public libraries. There you go. A couple comments. A lot of people are doing research projects and stuff like that. I saw a fourth grade on the Everglades. I saw a high school project on the pandemic and stuff like that. So a lot of really good ideas over here going off. A lot of people doing Flipgrid memory books. I've been really dying to try the Flipgrid mixtape feature, because that's how you can mix all those Flipgrids into that memory book and stuff like that. I can't wait to see some of those. I'm sure those are going to be awesome. So let's kind of move on to our next question, which is going to be, what are some of the new ideas you've interjected with your school since moving to these new environments? What are some new things that you didn't think about until you redid these things? You've kind of already highlighted some, but Toni?
So normally I would be using a lot of my Apple products in the class, in the media center, to do projects. And obviously we all don't have those. So I think that Kimberly was saying obviously before too, you need to really work with what we've already got. And if there are so many resources in our portal that we maybe have forgotten about or we didn't know about. And one of the things that has been really successful for me is I do a Tacky Tourist project with fourth grade and the Living Museum biography project with fifth grade. And so I was trying to figure out how to make that work. And so I was able to, through my Google Classroom, give them the research project like we normally would. But then I was like, what's the presentation piece going to be? So through Adobe Spark, we have Adobe Spark in our portal. So everyone has access to it. The kids are able to take their research and put it into an Adobe Spark video. They can use the pictures that are already there, or they can download and upload pictures into the video project. And the really super cool thing about it is that they can they can record their voices. So I think that's the sweetest thing about the whole project, because listening to their voices is priceless. And on top of that, then you can use Padlet. Padlet is like this virtual bulletin board. And so you post it there, and then all the students can see what everyone else has done, and they've actually published their work. And now they're getting responses from people and things like that. So as far as research projects are concerned, you've got all these apps within our portal, within the Gale Research World Book, all those kinds of Pebble Go and Pebble Go Next that we are available to us now. We haven't ever had Pebble Go Next before, and that's the 3 to 5 version of Pebble Go. And so we all need to be taking advantage of those new apps and the apps that we already have in our portal to make things more exciting. And I think because of that, the kids are really getting excited about the projects as well.
Yeah, I was just kind of want to make a comment that Adobe Spark is free in our district to everyone. It's on everyone's portal. If they go to, I think it's spark.adobe.com, they can log in with their Gmail accounts, their district Gmail accounts, that is. And it offers to post pages and video. And I just want to let everyone know that. Anybody else want to add to that conversation piece? Kimberly.
One of the new ideas that we've interjected, I'm very focused on student voice and having students feel like they have someone to talk to. And the Media Center was one of the places where we did that, where they could come and they could talk to me about anything. And I saw online, and then we created a wellness check-in. We created a form, wellness check-in, and it's dual language. We have a high Hispanic population as well, so we have dual language, and it has some wellness checks in there that were added. Our school guidance counselor saw a wellness check-in that had some features from Mrs. Tutoni, South grade school counselor. I just wanted to let you know that part of what I got was from her. And we sent that form out. We put it in all the Google Classrooms, and we have gotten over 130 responses from kids. And this has been critical for our success, because we've had students tell us about technology problems that they were having. We had someone who had a grandmother pass, and our school counselor gets the response immediately upon submission of the Google form. And when there's anything that's concerning, any stress or anything happening in the family that is less than ideal, which there's a lot of that right now, our school guidance counselor gets on the phone, gets in touch with them right away. So we feel like that has really helped the kids have a way to know that they can tell us something's happening.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Suzette.
Well, I just want to say I think Toni hit most of them that we talked about, but I did want to jump in there also on Adobe Spark. I've been learning how to use that and share that with teachers, and that's been a lot of fun to play with. Actually, Trent Lipscher and I had presented to our staff right before we ended up leaving school about how to use Adobe Spark and how to use Screencastify to learn how to record lessons and have those available digitally for their students. So I think we're very lucky that we had that opportunity to present that to our staff, and it's come in very handy right now.
And one thing else I want to mention too, add on to that, is Flipgrid added the capability to record your screen. So like you can use Flipgrid to kind of demonstrate your learning by recording their screen. So the kids can record their screens of their projects and stuff like that, so the teacher can see and hear, because like Toni pointed out, like hearing them explain something is a really true, actually hearing that part and stuff like that. So those are pieces that I wanted to reinforce that. Lisa, did you want to add anything to this?
Like Suzette and Toni said, you guys have hit a lot of the key features that new ideas that teachers have been using. I'm encouraged that, because I've put a couple of Flipgrids on the IMS Media Center classroom page and the book club page, that now teachers are going to be using Flipgrid. And so I think Flipgrid has been a useful tool for them. Yeah.
And we had a great webinar. I mean, it was awesome because it got me inspired with Flipgrid. If you haven't seen our Flipgrid live stream, it's still on our YouTube channel. You can go there and watch it. And also, if you guys don't know, we have virtual office hours each week that we can answer questions as well. And we actually demonstrate. One thing I wanted to add personally, because Toni talked about the fairy tales, and I love the fairy tale project. Because like, if you've ever known me, I'm into fairy tales. There's this great series of books. I love this book because it talks about IB and stuff like that on Cinderella, and it talks about stories around the world. And I did a STEM project with this a couple of weeks ago on a live stream where we built a drawbridge out of a cereal box. And I thought that was a great project to do at home because every kid has cereal, right? And they can turn it into a drawbridge to stop Cinderella from leaving the castle. And she could have her happy ever after so much faster than having to go through the whole glass slipper thing. I know that's the drama, but come on, and stuff like that. So that, and this is now, we have free access to this book in Capstone now for the time being. But it's one of those free resources I kind of wanted to throw out there and stuff like that. So we kind of hinted about the next question. This is a good segue into the next question. The question is, what are some resources / databases you're recommending to your teachers? Lisa, go ahead.
I've met with 6th grade and 8th grade history teachers, and they really like Gale research. And I've been able to show them how Gale research syncs directly now to Google Classroom. And it's just, that has been valuable. And then Gale has also been generous in adding additional databases for our teachers and our students. And one particular one is a science 3D interactive models database. So the science teachers are very excited about that because it covers various subjects like biology, chemistry, human anatomy. So they're utilizing that as well. And the Lightbox books, the Lightbox interactive books, again, I have some history teachers and I have science teachers that are utilizing those in their classrooms now. And they like those because they have embedded videos and activities and even a quiz at the end. So they're very excited about those databases at this time.
All right. Toni, go ahead.
One of the ones that I want to promote to all levels is Newsela or Newsela. That is in our portal as well. And it's kind of what's hot in the news, and it's written on all different lexiles. So you can differentiate within your classroom. And there's a little box at the top that you just click on, and you can pick the lexile level that you want it. And then it actually, when you push the share button, it links, you can link it straight to your Google Classroom. It can also give quizzes if that's your end goal. If you want to quiz them on it, it provides quizzes for each of these as well. It's been very, very popular in my Google Classroom. And I've just put them up there for pure pleasure reading. And so it's on all different types of topics: science, history, arts, all kinds of different things. And so they've been really excited about that. But I also want to, give a shout out to some of the ones that we've had in the past, like Discovery Learning, your Tumble books, like Lisa said before, your Mackinvia. They've been extremely generous in giving lots of extra books. Your Gale resources. We have kids info bits and world book. And if you go into your portal, at the top, it'll have your home and your tiles and stuff like that. But if you go into instructional and scroll down, you will see all the different types of apps that we have in our portal that you may not have been aware of. And there's some really excellent things in there.
Awesome. Thank you. Suzette, did you want to continue?
Sure. I know we've all been talking about Gale, but I can't say enough about Gale. They have an interactive like 3D model database within their portal, and it's awesome. It's so fun to play with. One of my other favorites, especially for the high school level, is SIRS, SIRS Researcher. phenomenal research tool. Really gives the students access to trustworthy articles, reliable sources, and it breaks down everything for them. And it's just the best research tool I think that's out there. I try to encourage kids to use that instead of Google. Mackinvia, of course, as well. Gail, I forgot to mention, and I know I've seen it in the comments, but Gail also has a collection called Cameron's Collection available, and it's for your social emotional learning. They've got some free ebooks on there for some of the tougher topics that some of our students might be a little shy to talk to anyone about. So there's like some ebooks on there for like anxiety and things like that, and kind of how to cope with some of those things, which could be very useful to some of our kids right now. And then finally, Jason Reynolds, he's the ambassador for young people's literature in America. He's amazing, and he's doing a Write series right now, and so that would be something definitely worth checking out as well.
Thank you. Amy Armbruster said something about Gale Global for doing different researches and stuff like that, and then I know that Elizabeth McEwen from Glade Central and some others were talking about some of the other great resources in the high school chat. So I wanted to include those and stuff like that. And then I saw something really good in the chat that I wanted to add. Cheryl May talked about the Library of Congress had a daily bulletin that was a great resource and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Would anyone like to explain what Mackinvia is to someone that doesn't know what Mackinvia is?
Sure.
Go ahead, Toni.
So Mackinvia is an ebook platform. The Library Media Services traditionally will buy SSYRA titles for each grade level in there, and there'll be multi-user and multi-user copies. Your media specialist can purchase ebooks there. And it's very, very cool because when you go in to it's obviously in your portal. And when you go into your Mackinvia, you can search, you can do an advanced search. There's a lot of ways to search by subject or series or author or genre. You can search multiple different ways, but also you get a little backpack at the top, and you can put stuff in your favorites. So if you come across a book that you think, oh, I'm looking for this other book, but this one looks interesting to me, you can put it into your favorites and save it for later, kind of like on a little bookshelf. You can check stuff out. It's a two-week checkout, and after the 2 weeks are up, it sucks it right back out of. You don't have to go to the library and return it because it returns it for you. And you can highlight. There are a lot of. You can take notes on it. There are a lot of the books within the platform that will read to you, and they're text speech. And then you can slow it down and speed it up and have it read to you in English or in a British voice or in a female or a male voice. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if anyone was watching that didn't know what Mackinvia was, to kind of, I think it should care for you guys instead of me, because like I can mess it up. Yeah, I just didn't know. I just want to make sure. So, okay. I wanted to kind of mention something that we should have hit on before, but I just kind of want to talk about it. A lot of you have been creating, you have your Google Classrooms, but some of you actually have your virtual libraries that you've been developing. Some of you have been doing it before you started this, and some of you are starting it now going forward as a kind of a long-term project. Do you guys want to share a little bit about what you've done with a virtual library, kind of like your website, or talk about your Google Classroom a little bit more? Suzette?
So I use this opportunity to build a website. I have the Google Classroom, but that's only accessible for students and teachers that are within the district. So I went ahead and I built a Google site that's open to the public. And so I looked at it as, well, this is a long-term investment because really my library should have a website. And so it's still a work in progress. It's still pretty new. But it's got all kinds of information on there. It's got information, just about our media center in general and what some of our policies are and what is available to students in the Media Center. And then it's got some other pages connected to it. So like our book club, our Project Lit Club that we're getting going, research tools that are available. I recorded myself using Spark Video and Screencastify. I recorded myself doing some walkthroughs of how to access Gale and SIRS and some of those things. And so they're uploaded on the website so a student could access it at any point. And so it's just something that I've invested in now and I will continue to invest in, and hopefully students will be able to use it for a long time.
All right. Thanks, Suzette. I know it's been a lot of work and you're kind of getting used to it. Toni?
Suzette hit on pretty much all the important topics. I too have tried to get a website going, and it is she's right, it is a very futuristic investment. I do want to give a shout out to Ed Tech. They have an amazing they did an amazing tutorial on how to set up a Google site. So I'm actually in the middle of watching that and updating my Google site as well. In my Google site too, I'm able to at this time I'm trying to advertise for next year's news crew. So I was able to do a Google form, put it into my Google site, and put it out there so that people can apply for my news crew next year. Plus all the how-tos. SSYRA just came out, so we were able to make a good SSYRA page so that kids are aware of the books for next year. And I think that these Google sites are going to be the bridge for our future, and something that's going to come out of all this that's going to be really positive.
Thank you, Toni. Anybody else want to elaborate? Kim?
In keeping with our primary focus initially is to get in communication, get the information to the parents. I created a parent and community resource website, and this has our principal's weekly newsletter. It has the feeding sites that are local to the Glades area, not just the school ones, but the other ones in the community. It I'm going to be adding information about our kindergarten roundup, which we've just started pushing. So it has information that our parents will find useful, and it also links, of course, to our district website for our continuous learning portal.
All right, that's a good resource. Anybody else want to add to that? All right, but this is a good segue, because our last question is, thinking ahead, how would you work more collaboratively with your students, teachers, administrator, and parents to make instruction work better in a remote learning environment? We don't know what the future is going to be. Don't even know. So next year is going to be another new experience, as every year is. And I'm just curious on what you think going forward. Go ahead, Toni.
I do think those Google sites are going to be super important. I think that's going to, again, be the bridge. I do think that media programs in the classroom instruction need to be more interwoven. I think that collaboration piece will be super important into the future. And one of the things that I think that have been really great is I've been active on Twitter, and I've been the authors and the publishers and news stations and different companies have been very receptive. And I think that being able to include them and their piece would be very advantageous and a great partnership into the future. So I think with all of the collaboration between teachers, students, administration, our Twitter families, our public, I think all that partnership going in, and with the Google sites and Google Classrooms, I think that's going to be where we're going to see our success.
Definitely. And a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat over here. Anybody else want to add to that? Kimberly?
Yes, I think this was obviously unexpected and quite abrupt. no warning whatsoever. So there were a lot of teachers that are trying to find their way. And I would say we needed, when we get a chance, to take a deep breath and regroup and start thinking about the future again. In more concrete terms, I would recommend that every teacher take the time, even start plugging away at it now. Just Google has a website that has a Google certified educator training. They have level 1, level 2, they have Google Trainer. They also have training for individual programs in their suite. But I would recommend that you take the time to go through that training, because it's going to give you all the foundational skills that are going to help you feel more confident. You know a lot. There's a lot that you can do, and but going through that training will help you know that you know, and it will build your confidence. And also the district offers, I'll let them throw that in, if they offer in e-learning points for doing that too, so that works too.
Yeah, we have a course in e-learning management on GC level 1, and you can get a voucher for the certification test. So thank you, Suzette.
This has been tough, but I think this has been such an important moment in education for all of us, because everything's been stripped away. We're down to what really matters. What do we really need our kids to know? There's no time or room for busy work. There's no test at the end. So what are the things that I need to impart to my children before they leave me for the school year? And with everything else stripped away, this has been a moment to really reflect and figure out what matters in our curriculum. So I hope that really encourages a lot of discussions into the future. And I think that it's been wonderful, because so many teachers are getting more comfortable with the technology now, and they're getting more comfortable with the idea of maybe creating hybrid classrooms or creating more dynamic lessons, and exploring things that they would have been afraid to try before. They've also become more comfortable with collaborating virtually. So I think sometimes some of what we do in school, where we feel like it has to be stuck in the building, that doesn't exist anymore. I've had teachers call me up and say, hey, can you jump on a Google Meet with me and walk me through something at all times of the day? So, we're becoming so much more comfortable, and we're going to be so much stronger for it. So I really hope to see that in the future.
Thanks, Suzette. Anybody else want to add to that? Lisa?
I just want to quickly say that my focus moving forward is to continue building relationships with our teachers and our students, and communicating so that they know I'm there for them. The media specialist is there for them, and I can help them build the best virtual school environment for their students. And I hope that I want to build those relationships so that they know they can come to me, ask questions. And if I don't know the answers, I have you, John and Rebecca and the ed tech team and Lisa and Holly from Library Media Services that are always so helpful, and I can help them find the answers that they need. So that's my goal from this point on, is to try to continue to build those relationships.
Well, ladies and our audience, I want to thank you. This has been an awesome discussion this period, and we've got so many ideas in the chat. I would encourage everyone to come back and read it. And I just want to thank each one of you for being here and sharing your stories. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate what you're doing in your libraries with your teachers and your students and stuff like that. So I want to thank you for being here and just sharing. And I want to thank everybody out there in the chat world over here for interjecting your ideas as well, because we appreciate you as well. So we're going to kind of wrap things up a little bit. We'll come back to you. Today we've got this great panel discussion, but we've got another great session coming up with our SMART team at 11:30. It's going to be really good, and they're doing some amazing things and reaching out. Who knew that you could use a smart board in this virtual world? That's awesome. On Monday, we've got two really cool things. We're going to show you how to use Apple's Pages and Keynote on a Google platform. And we're going to demonstrate that for you on Monday morning. I hope you'll come for that. That's going to be really cool. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and you can do some really cool things. And we're going to share that with you, John and I. And then 2:30, Monday is May the 4th. And we're going to have a little May the 4th be with you day. And we've got some really cool things we're going to share. I'm not going to tell you a lot, but we have some really cool things about sharing the light and dark side of some of the tools that we're going to be using. So we'll hope that you'll come back on Monday at 2:30 and see that live stream as well. So we're going to be looking at that. In May, coming forward, we're going to shift gears just a little bit, and we're going to talk about virtual field trips and kind of career days and stuff like that. So we're going to be providing some different things. I'm not going to tell you what's coming. I'm really excited about it, and the team's really excited about putting it together. So you want to keep up with us there in May, because we're going to have some really cool things, and people from all over the world are going to be joining us for our live streams. We already had people from around the country, but we're going to get global too. And so I just hope you'll come back and see some of the virtual field trips that you can do, because May is the end of the year. It's time for going on field trips, and we don't want the kids to miss out. And so we want to provide them some unique experiences and stuff like that. I also wanted to kind of let people know that if you need assistance, we still have our form. It's bit.ly form, bit.ly/helpformedtech. It is case sensitive, and so you really need to make sure that you do that case sensitive. And you can enter your questions, or if you need assistance, and somebody from our team or the smart tech trainers will reach out to you. They're looking for Google questions like Google Classroom, Google Meet, Google Forms, and then we're going to talk about using Smart Learning Suite Online, SLSO. And it's a great interactive tool that you can make, having a whiteboard and stuff like that, and they can help you with those things. I want to thank our panel one more time. This is their information. They're on Twitter. A lot of them tweet out a lot of what they're doing. So if you want to follow them, hopefully you're already following them. And I know there are thousands more out there that are librarians that in our district and around the world that are tweeting out really good ideas, and classroom teachers. And so classroom teachers, take advantage of your media specialists, and media specialists work with your classroom teachers, because it is a really tough time. And I want to kind of give each one of you a final word to say, and then we'll close this out. So let's start with Toni, and just kind of whatever closing remarks you want to give.
I just think that Palm Beach County in general has been amazing in spinning on a dime. And I want all of you to know that we feel that our media centers are like the hub of the school. But now I feel like I would hope that we are the glue, and that we're keeping everybody together. And so like John said, and everybody has said in the chat, utilize your media specialists. They're there for you. We want to be a team. We want to collaborate together. We want to be interwoven, and we have a lot to offer you. So reach out and come see us.
All right, thanks, Toni. Suzette, you want to add something?
Don't make me follow Toni. Toni's was awesome.
Sorry.
Listen, teachers and media specialists, don't get caught up in the 362 emails that you get a day. All right. You are awesome. You've grown leaps and bounds professionally over the last, 5 weeks. Just be proud of yourself. We're reaching kids. We're reaching teachers. We're doing amazing work. And I'm super proud of our county.
That's not bad, Suzette. That was really good. All right, Lisa, take it away.
And I'm supposed to follow her? No. I just want to thank all the media specialists out there and the ed tech team for having these opportunities to share our ideas. Nothing that I'm doing is original. It's not my idea. It's everyone's idea. I've stolen from many media specialists. I've stolen from ed tech. And I just hope that we continue to communicate, because I think with that, we will be able to grow and help each other and be there for each other.
And Kimberly.
I am, thank you so much for having me on. And I just want to say I'm very filled with hope. I'm very excited about the changes that are going to come in the future and that are even starting to come about now based on the conversations that we've been having. And I want to say Ed Tech has been amazing. And the way that we've been able to, like Toni said, turn on a dime and go remote. Our district library media department is amazing as well. And if you are not at one of our 4 schools, fear not. You have an amazing media specialist at your school too. And we meet every week and we are sharing ideas and collaborating. And we are so eager to help you connect with your students and to help you collaborate. And just make this an exciting time for our kids. Thank you.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. It's not stealing; it's creative sharing, and I think we all have to share with each other because that's how we are going to get through all of this. It's just working together to make it happen for our students, our teachers, our administrators, our parents. It's just something that we have to do. And so I want to say thank you, everybody, for being a part of this today. And we hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.